Hey everybody, AC here. Wow, what a way to start off. So for this video, I just want to talk about things that I want to see in The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I actually made this list. I have 12 things that I want to see in Tears of the Kingdom. And I made this list back in November of last year. But I just, for whatever reason, never got around to actually making a video about it back then. And I want to talk about this. Some of these have already been confirmed. Some of these things on my list have already been confirmed in the Zelda Direct that happened just yesterday. But let's go ahead and jump into some of these. And these are in no particular order. But the first thing I have down, new characters. I want more characters to interact with, because I get that this is the same Hyrule as before, but I don't want the exact same NPCs to interact with. I want a bunch of new characters that I can interact with. Keep me invested in the people that live here in Hyrule. Introduce new characters, maybe characters that were trapped underground and are finally able to come up now that the underground is accessible. Or people who lived on the Sky Islands. Like, I don't know, just introduce new characters. Give me new characters to actually care about. And then second, new weapons. I want a bunch of new weapons. I wanted a bunch of new different types of weapons that have various durabilities and attack strength and all that. I want new weapons, new weapons, bows, new shields, all that stuff. And it looks like we're going to be getting all of that. As we've seen in the trailers, and the 10-minute gameplay footage from the Zelda Direct, it really does seem like we're going to be getting that. So I'm real happy about that. So that's a win. That's a win right there. That's a win right there. And then there's new enemies. I want new enemy varieties. We knew about the this little flying dudes that are flying around carrying bokoblins, and it seems that the bokoblins, Lizalfos, and moblins all are a bit different than they were in Breath of the Wild. And in the most recent Zelda Direct, we learned of a brand new enemy called a Construct. And that looks like a really cool enemy. So we are getting new enemies. And in one of the trailers, we see what I am pretty sure is a Redead. We see for just a split second what I'm pretty sure is a Redead. So hopefully they also have like Dark Nuts. I would love to see Dark Nuts again for the first time in God knows how long. So next, new overworld bosses. I want overworld bosses. In Breath of the Wild, we had Moldugas, we had Hinoxes, we had Taluses, and then I guess you could also count Lionels and Guardians, Guardian Walkers. You could consider them like overworld bosses. They have about as much health as an overworld boss. They're about as tough as overworld bosses. So you could consider all of that. But like, I want more. I want more overworld bosses, not just those. I want to see more. I want to see more overworld bosses. And in one of the trailers, it looks like we might have one. on the bridge of Hylia, it seems that there is a three-headed dragon. That same three-headed dragon that Link ends up facing in the very first Legend of Zelda game. I forget what it's called, but it is a three-headed dragon that Link ends up having to face in one of the dungeons, and it looks like it looks like it's made its home on the Bridge of Hylia, and that's really cool. So hopefully we get a lot of overworld bosses like that. But based on what we see in the trailers, I'm assuming that is definitely going to happen. Next, new armors. That's a pretty easy W. That's a pretty easy W right there. Because we do see that Link has these new duds in the trailers, as well as a updated version of the Hylian tunic, but he's wearing the champion tunic on top as well. Like it's as if the two armors have merged in a sense, and that's really cool. I think that's awesome. So that's an easy dub. Then it's crafting. More specifically, when I made this, I wanted a way to craft my own arrows. I wanted to be able to craft my own. Arrows, and maybe craft a few other useful tools, using materials that I find lying around. That way the materials aren't just taking up space in my inventory. And I really wanted something like that, just a means of like using everything that I pick up. And it looks like that's what we're going to be getting, thanks to the 10-minute gameplay footage that we got. There does seem to be some actual crafting elements to the game. Like you'll be able to craft your own elemental arrows, and that's awesome. That's great. Next up is food recipe book. And this is kind of a minor thing. It's never been a huge problem for me. But one thing that I wish Breath of the Wild had was, after you make a meal, I wish that there was some kind of recipe book where Link would basically jot down the meal and what it took to make it. And you could and if you end up forgetting how to make a certain dish, you can just look it up in your recipe book, and then boom, you can make it again. Like, I would love for something like that. Have a recipe book that saves every single meal you create. That would just be amazing. That would be awesome. I would love that. So I would love to see that in Tears of the Kingdom. And that has not yet been confirmed. Yeah, that new characters, neither of those have been confirmed so far, though. With our first 7, we've gotten 5. I've gotten 5 right. So 5 out of 7, that's not bad. Let's see. Next up is a fix for weapons breaking. Now, when I put this, I imagined some kind of like blacksmith. In Age of Calamity, you could go to a blacksmith and you could upgrade your weapons. And so I thought maybe have some kind of a blacksmith. Maybe have some kind of a blacksmith in this game. That way, whenever there's a weapon that gets damaged, you can go to the blacksmith, and use a material or give him like whatever materials he needs, and he'll fix the weapon up for you, make it good as new, so its durability is back up to full. I think that would be a really good way to hold on to weapons that you really want to hold on to while still keeping the whole breaking mechanic. If you don't have any weapons that you really care about, then you can just let them break. But if you find one that you really do want to keep, then you can go to the blacksmith, and he'll fix it up for you. That's what I was thinking, and I would still love for that to happen. But we got a bit of a fix. We already did kind of get a bit of a fix for it with the Zelda Direct, with the whole ability to fuse weapons together, because that automatically fixes the durability and actually gives it even better durability than it had before. Now, it's not a permanent solution. I imagine that once that fused weapon gets damaged, you can't like unfuse them. Like, no, you're just kind of forced to let it break eventually. But it will make weapons last a lot longer than they did in Breath of the Wild. Like, every weapon will last a lot longer in this game. So I'm going to consider that a bit of a W. I'm going to consider that a win. Let's see. Next is a fix for climbing in the rain. And we did get that. We did get a fix for climbing in the rain. It's called Ascend. And you just go into like you can just like go into a cave at the base of a mountain, and you look up to the ceiling. You use the Ascend ability, and Link will basically travel up to the very top of the mountain and come out the very top. That is so cool. I love that. Because it means I don't have to worry about waiting God knows how long for the rain to finally stop. In order to climb up. Now I can just ascend to the top, so long as there's a ceiling that I can get under to use the ability. So that's really cool. That is a big old W. I am very happy about that. Traditional dungeons is the next one. And I personally love the Divine Beasts. I love the Divine Beasts. I love all 5 of them. Yes, there's 5 because of the Divine Beast added in the DLC. I love all of those. And then there's also Hyrule Castle. So there's 6 dungeons in the entire game. There are 6 dungeons in the whole. Game, and I love every single one of them. I think they are all incredibly fun. But I do get what other people are saying when they say they want more traditional dungeons in this open world. I do get that. I think that there is a lot of good potential for traditional dungeons in this version of Hyrule that Nintendo has created. So I would not mind seeing traditional dungeons. We have not gotten like actual confirmation that we're getting traditional dungeons. There have been some hints that that's what we're getting, that we might be getting some traditional dungeons, but nothing has been confirmed yet. So that I'm leaving that as like undetermined. Next is more unique main bosses, like story bosses. Because the story bosses in Breath of the Wild were the Blights, Calamity Ganon, Dark Beast Ganon, Master Koga, and Maz Kohash. And honestly, Maz Kohash was probably the most fun to mess around with, and try different things with. Um, Master Kogo was a joke. That's part of his character. He's a joke. He's a big joke, and I like Master Koga. I think that I personally think that his boss fight was fun, if a bit too easy. Um, but I definitely would love to see more unique and interestingly designed bosses than just a bunch of blights. So I really hope we get some really cool, really well designed bosses in the main story. And speaking of the main story, that is the last thing on the list. A more streamlined story. A more streamlined story. And what I mean is that I don't want to have to go looking for the story and try to find the story through subtexts and diaries. I want the story to unfold as I play through the game. Like, I don't want to have to like go searching for the story. I want it to actually unfold as I play through the game. And it seems, according to what we've seen in the 10-minute gameplay, it seems as though that's what's going to happen. That Hyrule will be changing up as we progress through the story. So the more we progress through the story, the more things in the world around us end up changing, which causes us to explore more of those areas, which leads directly to the story, and it's just a never-ending loop. And so I'm pretty sure that that's what that means. So I am going to assume I'm going to assume that we are getting exactly that. So that would be a W. So that leaves us with the final tally. Um, New characters, food recipe book, traditional dungeons, and more unique main bosses. I have no reason to believe that we will not be getting more unique main bosses, but we haven't seen any. We have not seen any of the unique main bosses as of now, so I cannot say for certain that we will get them. But that's 4 out of 12 that are currently undetermined. The other 8 are a W. The other 8 are W's. They have been confirmed. We are getting all of that. And I am so happy. 8 of the 12 things on my wish list have pretty much already been confirmed. And I am so happy for it. I am here for it. I am so excited. We are 44 days away from Tears of the Kingdom's release. And I am ready. I am so ready. Let me know in the comment box below. What do you think of all of these things on my wish list? Do you agree with them? Do you have your own? What things do you hope to see in Tears of the Kingdom? Please let me know in the comment box below. I would love to keep this discussion going. And that's going to do it for me. So thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good jazz. I'll be seeing you tomorrow for two more special videos. Until then, thank you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody.